Yeah, and just be prepared to get blown in a direction you didn't expect to get blown.
The water will get into the front of the boat and sink the boat, so...
Ooh, this is nice.
Hi, we're Jackie and Michael, and we're exploring the rivers and canals of Britain on our 57-foot narrowboat Border Reiver. We'll show you what it's like to live day to day on a narrowboat, and we'll arrive in some beautiful places next to the water. We go and explore the areas we've moored at for the night, and we'll take you with us.
So towpath on the other side, over there. Oh! Don't look down. Do not look down. Okay. We got pushed right onto the left side here, which is, I'm glad it was that way and not the other side, because that's where the huge drop is. Oh, that's scary.
Just stop before the locks to fill up with some water. It's a wobbly tap.
It's a very wobbly tap. It doesn't look like it's very fat.
I caught the binoculars on the side of the boat. I hope they're not damaged. Can you see me? Becky always swirls everything round every time she gets on. Oh, maybe just that lever.
No.
Right, okay.
I can't see anything.
That's a bit of a trek.
Was it a long way?
Yeah, it's there's another water point up there where you can go and stop to do that.
But you don't know, do you, unless you've been through before?
I need a haircut.
You do.
That's why I've had to borrow your thing to keep the hair out.
You see, that's what happens when you get long hair. I have that problem all the time.
Like a girl. I want to do it. I can't see.
No, you don't.
I can't see otherwise.
It's too windy. Just finished filling up with water. We're just going into the lock, but the wind's so strong. It's really, we're going to have to give it a right push to get off the side here. There's a little teeny weeny day hire boat in the lock with us as well. I think we should be all right. It's so windy. I'll go around the other side. We're in. Just get this gate closed and safe and sound. I think the most important thing on days like this is you've just got to be really careful, do everything slowly when it's so windy. Yeah, and just be prepared to get blown in a direction you didn't expect to get blown. Slower the better. Sometimes you do need to put a bit of speed on just to maybe get through something, or keep forward motion if the wind's coming the wrong direction. But Michael's really, really good at doing all of this, so I'll let him come into that lock rather than me. This is under restoration, Buckingham Canal. Great to see. Go on, up you go. Go, fly, fly.
Sideways cruising.
This is a novel approach.
Sideways cruise.
We're sideways cruising, yeah.
There's no option.
There was a boat coming towards us, and we couldn't work out why it was sort of diagonal across the canal, but still coming towards us. And we said, "Oh, that's an interesting position to adopt." And now we've got to the same stretch of canal. We understand why, don't we?
Well, we're diagonal, of course.
We are diagonal, yeah. Oh, we're straightening out a bit now. I don't like cruising in wind. Wind makes me nervous. That's all I've got to say. I was going to let Michael off the boat, wasn't I? So he could walk, but I'm a bit nervous. No, I'm slightly cautious of the wind, and I don't want to. Not that I would career and crash into things, but it's obviously slightly trickier. And done it in wind, haven't I? I'm alright, but
You'd be fine.
thank you for your confidence.
Except I'll do it.
Yeah, maybe it's not that confident. We've moored up opposite Kingfisher Marina. Michael's gone to the chandlery just to get a couple of bits that we need. It's that strong that we don't even need any ropes to keep us alongside. We're just sat here. I don't know how we're going to get off here, hopefully, when it's not gusty. It's challenging on the wind. We're literally going down the canal at an angle, yeah, like this. We're just going down the canal like this. But it's alright. It's just a bit hairy when you come to a bridge, but it's interesting to watch the other boats. They're having exactly the same dilemmas. Everybody's just going sideways. So we're going to try and stop before 3 o'clock because it says it's going to rain as well, so don't do rain. Oh, hang on a minute. It's got some blue. Perfect, well done. So off he disappears. He's just walked over that bridge. Oh, that's perfect. We were just running a little bit low for comfort. That's for the toilets. That's a brown job. That's why Michael's gone. That's good. That's perfect. We've stopped at a couple of other places and they've not had any at all, so that's perfect. Yep, and we've got beans on toast for lunch. Looking forward to it. Michael's spiced the beans up. We do like spice, though he's added some spicy touches to it, so very nice. Successful!
Other blues are available.
It's like an advanced boat driving course, this. It's challenging. You've got to judge the angles of everything, the speed you're approaching everything. I've just gone underneath a bridge far faster than I would ever go, but I knew if I came off the gas, we'd just get blown onto the side, not onto the arch of the bridge, but onto the towpath side of the bridge. So it's literally like a slalom. The wind's picked up again, but I think we've just gone round the lee of the hill and now we're back in the wind. And I can also see some dark clouds gathering. If you can even hear me above the wind. Yeah. And you've really got to hold the tiller really firm. Anyway, I think I'm doing alright. That's the view out the front. The back end just seems to keep wanting to come round. You can see by the vegetation just how windy it is. And obviously if you look there, the wind's just coming straight over the fields there. Yeah. You can sort of gauge where it's going to be windy because you can see where it's exposed. One very relaxed Michael down there, just taking it easy. It's alright, I think I'm going to have a sore shoulder after this. So, we've, hang on, I'm not even at the top of the lock and I'm getting thrown from side to side. Tricky. We've made it to Stoke Bruerne locks. Hang on, just about to make contact with the wall. And we've made it to Stoke Bruerne locks. And we're going to do the 5 locks that are here, and then we're going to moor up, I think, and then leave 2 locks tomorrow and go through the Blissworth tunnel. Strikes the fear of God into us. We don't like tunnels, as we've mentioned. We've been through tunnels, we've been through long tunnels, and we've been through bendy tunnels, we've been through shallow tunnels, but we don't like tunnels. So 5 locks. We're going to moor up in Stoke Bruerne and then wait for the rain to pass, which is due to start raining in about an hour and a half, I think. Michael's gone full wet weather already. I'm being brave. Anyway, yeah, there's 7 locks in the flight and it rises 17 metres, it tells me there. That's the facts for today. Might get to walk to the village later as well. Might be good. Stretch our legs. If it doesn't rain too heavily. The sun's still shining. Post lady delivering. Here we go.
Looks like Jack's struggling to hold on to the boat here before the next lock. Uh-oh. Wind comes in gusts when it gets hold of the boat. It's coming in now. When it gets hold of the boat, it pushes you really, really fast or really hard away from the water, so she has to get a turn around one of those bollards. That'll hold it. So it's just a little bit behind that one. Alright.
Yeah, fine, yeah.
We saw a boat coming through when we were approaching, so hopefully this one's with us. Otherwise it'll be empty. I can just open the gate and Jack can just come straight in, so we'll see, shall we? Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. I'm feeling lucky today, so we should be fine. There she is, hanging on. It's so windy. There's the next lock. Ahead, she comes in, gets into this one, and open the water, let the water start to come into this one, and then I'll go and set the other one. So we're working a lock ahead. That's the way to do it, as the parrot said. I hope the wind doesn't get hold of the boat too much. As the wind's coming from the port side of the boat, you just need the wind to drop a bit just as you're coming in. That's the best bit. Well done, alright? Yeah, I know, I was just saying that. Done a good job. In she goes. So this lock's got ground paddles and gate paddles. So we need to make sure we open the ground paddle, which is this one, first. So I've opened the ground paddle, and that lets the water in from the bottom of the lock. You can't see that, so that's quite turbulent. And then in the gate, you can see where the water's spilling through, leaking through. Those are the gate paddles. Obviously, if I open one of those now, the water would rush in there, and there's always a chance, because the boat is near the front of the lock, that the water will get into the front of the boat and sink the boat. So the idea is only open the ground paddle first, let the water level get above these gate paddles, and then I'll open those. So all good. Just wait for the water level to come up. So now we can see that the water is just coming over the gate paddles. So if I let water in now, it's not going to charge into the boat. So I can do that now.
Michael's having fun and games with the gates. They keep opening and closing themselves. This could be a windy crossing between the two locks. Let's see how this goes. So boat coming out of that one, and I'm going into it. We swapped over jobs. A boat's coming out of the next lock. He seems to have taken a very strange line, so Michael's dealing with it. I think because he knows he's going to get blown over there. I've absolutely no idea what's going on. Not your standard route for passing, but it is windy. There we go. Michael's in. We'd like to say a big thank you to all of those who watch our videos. It helps to keep the channel going. If you'd like to support us further, you can visit the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you. It's in. We made it. Was that oh. Okay. They've ended up over there. It's not what he planned, I wouldn't have thought. We're in. We're safe. Yeah, that was a windy spot, that. He's made it. Was that like a Wubberdingy Rapids?
Yeah, sideways on, right
yeah.
Off the lock. I just had to blast it into forward. Just dive for the lock in.
That was a windy spot, that.
Very.
He's into the last lock. That looked a bit calmer. Definitely. I think the couple on the hire boat got a bit of a shock as they went over the far side of the pound. But they made it. And they've just gone through the third lock in the flight. No problem at all. Good fun, as long as you take it nice and safely and carefully. Right, and then just this lock, and then we're going to find somewhere to moor. These are really interesting. They are a part of the structure that they put in place to stop the water going into a lock, so they can do any repairs on the lock. So lots of wooden beams, all shaped at the sides, and they've got hooks on them. You see them here. There's a hook on each end there, and they use them to go into here. You see there's some grooves in the side of the lock there, just before the lock, one on each side, and they drop those wooden planks in there, empty the lock, and that means that the lock chamber is completely empty of water. And they do the same at the other end, and they can do any repairs to the lock gates or the inside of the lock chamber. We actually watched them do it last year. I think we were on the Staffs and Worcester, and there was something which had fallen into one of the lock mechanisms into the gates, a big tree, and they had to get the water out of the lock. So they dropped those into those slots, drained the water from the downside of the lock, emptied the lock completely, and then they could get access to the lower part of the gates, and they removed this massive tree trunk. It was really interesting to watch them do it, but I've not seen these, so I've not seen any of these for a while actually. They put them at various locks around the system, so they've got easy access to them, but they're very heavy, as you can imagine, but it's very effective at cutting the water off to the lock. I might have to correct that. I think it was the Shroppy and not the Staffs and Worcester. It was just down from Great Haywood Junction. I'll have a look on the map and see if I've got my canals right or not. Calm after the rain. Absolutely threw it down almost as soon as we got here. Lovely sunny evening. Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Perfect. Sun. Storm has passed. So I'm just having a quick stomp, as I like to call them, down into Stoke Bruerne. It's dropped cold. As I said, the rain cleared, and fortunately we got moored before it rained. So it's a bright evening, but it's cold. It's cold, so it's about half a mile. It's not far. Michael has just lit the fire, which is so it would be great. So I'll be nice and toasty when I get back. Perfect. A few boats. One of them's got its fire going in the distance, I can see, which is perfect. It's a pretty lock. My phone has just bleeped to tell me it's going to rain in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Hilarious. Wasn't expecting that. Stoke Bruerne was mentioned in the Domesday Book in 1086. It's a very typical village in Northamptonshire. Lots of traditional stone buildings and thatched cottages. I like a nice thatched cottage. Its main claim to fame is it's next to the canal, which we can see. It's a nice time of day this. So this is our first lock for tomorrow. Cheeky pub. So Stoke Bruerne's also famous for the Blisworth Tunnel, which we're going through tomorrow. Arg. It's the longest wide freely navigable tunnel in Europe, and it was reopened in 1984. Apparently Stoke Bruerne's also home to one of the only 3 CRT canal museums in the country. Oh, this is nice. There is the canal museum there. Oh, this is pretty, isn't it? Nice thatched pub, the boat in there. Very nice. So there's an old disused lock here. I had read about this. So basically there's 2 sets of locks. So there's the main one here, which is the one that we're going through tomorrow, and that's the main operational lock. Tells you which lock it is and where it is. It says Essex Bruerne on it. And then the other lock here, which is alongside, is now disused. Just a boat, a very old boat, and the old lock gates are still there. Mechanism, and then these very strange lock handles. Very different. I walked through here. There's 2 arches. It's that one. And then the other arch here that the boats will come through today. Lots of history. basically the two sets of locks were so that boats didn't have to wait their turn. They could operate them simultaneously. But apparently the locks were only used between 1835 and 1850. And the original lock was built in 1804. Gosh, that's old, isn't it? I've also come in search of a post box. Got a card to post over to son Scott in Germany for his birthday. Yeah, pretty village this, very pretty.
So today was a difficult time for us with the wind. It was so strong, the wind. It was blowing the boat sideways. As you could see, we were going sideways, crabbing up the canal. Very, very difficult. Wind and narrowboats, they're like a sail. When the wind gets the side of the narrowboat, it's almost like a sail and it pushes them all over the place. So it was a really tricky day. Jack was putting a brave face on it, but I'm not sure she was doing well to hide her angst. But we got there in the end, all good.
Back home. Oh, you can see a little light right at the other end.
Join us next week as we tackle our nemesis, another tunnel.
When we wake, hear the birds and see.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to subscribe. It really helps us.
Oh, the good times just begun.